you can have what's called hypertonic muscles. It's too tight. They're too toned. They're not resting at a normal resting length when you're inactive, and then when you go to become active, and it creates pain and tension and tightness. Okay? Let's talk about pain relief methods. There's also an excess, deficiency, and stagnation for people who are seeking relief from pain or any health condition, obesity or migraine headaches, whatever. We're going to just look at pain in general and what people do and can do to help with that. So we have the yang, or the excess. People are taking in excessive amounts of NSAIDs or non-steroidal anti-inflammatories. These medications, when taken in excess, are very bad for you. They cause all kinds of stomach ulcers and bleeding, and inflammation of the intestinal wall, malabsorption of nutrients into the bloodstream, toxicity of the liver leading to an imbalanced liver function. Excessive amounts of the NSAIDs are very bad, and people are taking them over the counter, Tylenol, ibuprofen, etc., and over and over and over and over in excessive amounts. Excessive amounts of prescription drugs. Again, too much of anything that's synthetic is going to be bad for you. Surgery is an excess. It's an excessive measure for something that probably doesn't need such an excessive amount of care for it. You may not need surgery for your slip disc and your sciatica. It could be just you find out the imbalance is a stagnation, a trigger point. Piriformis syndrome is a stagnation. You can find out muscles are imbalanced, so you go through muscle balance therapy. All different ways to avoid the surgery, avoid the prescriptions, and avoid the over-the-counter pain medications. Excessive amounts of these lead to stagnations, which we'll talk about. The deficiency is I have pain, I do nothing, my pain cycle continues. Why do I do nothing? Because mentally I can't cope with it. Stress is too much. I have some kind of philosophical aversion to taking medications or to seeing a therapist. I can handle it myself. I don't want a chiropractor touching me or a massage therapist, or nobody's putting needles in me. So we ignore the pain and we go into a denial phase. That the pain is not really there, or I can derive a sense of who I am by the fact that I can suffer through this pain and still achieve my goals. And really here at the Healthy Back Institute, we don't condone that kind of thinking. It's counterintuitive and counterproductive, and we want you to be pain-free. And what happens when you ignore the pain is your body has set mechanisms for allowing you to do activities without being in pain. So if it hurts to turn my head to the left, over a period of time of me feeling that, all of a sudden my system changes to where when I go to the left, I'm actually turning my waist to the left instead of my neck to the left. So now after a while, because the pain has become chronic through ignoring and denial, I no longer know that there's pain there or dysfunction, because every time I go to the left, I'm turning my body to get the dishes, to get the remote control, to pick up my Heal and Soothe supplements and take them. When I turn to the right, my head goes to the right. When somebody says, Dr. Wiley, I say yes, and then my body will turn. But I'm not realizing that I'm doing that. And there's so many of those things. People with bad backs who aren't picking things up are now sitting down before they pick something up. When they have headaches, they're doing certain things before. And this leads to long-term chronic problems, imbalances in the body that cause further and further problems. And then another deficiency is not enough therapy, or not enough of the correct therapy, meeting some kind of physical, mind-body therapy, physical therapy for your problem. People complain to me all the time, Dr. Wiley, I tried acupuncture for my pain and it just didn't work, and I tried chiropractor and it didn't work, and I tried inversion therapy and it didn't work, and I tried massages and they didn't work, and I'm still in pain and nobody can help. And my answer to that is they went through a deficiency of the therapy. They tried it, and the word try means you didn't do it. You either call somebody or you don't call them, but if you say I tried to call you, that means I didn't call you. I had best intentions, but it did not happen. So when you're trying a therapy, it's not going to work. It's a deficiency. If the acupuncture says it's 10 visits is one round, and you need to do 3 rounds of treatments, you got to go through 30 treatments before you make up your mind whether or not it's helped you. You can't go 6 visits and decide, well, I've been giving it a try and it's just not working. If you need to see a massage therapist or do trigger point therapy, and it's requiring 3 days a week for X period of time, you can't do it 3 or 4 times or twice and say, well, I tried it, it didn't work. Deficiency is a problem, especially when people are going to therapies or to a therapist of some kind to seek for pain relief. So it's something you need to be aware of, please. It will help you reduce your pain and eliminate it. So how do these lead to stagnation here? Well, all of these things, the excessive amounts of painkillers and surgeries, doing nothing, not enough therapy, specifically with the drugs, will lead to depressed liver function. Liver purifies the blood while you're at rest and sets the blood through your body, and how much is it in motion at one time for what you need for your activity. And with so many toxins in the blood, the liver is unable to purify it quickly enough or even completely. So we have all kinds of liver dysfunction leading to toxins moving through the body, causing pain, trigger points, tight tendons, inflammation. It's not good at all. Metabolic waste in the blood, not enough nutrients and blood moving. In Chinese medicine we call that blood stagnation. Just means like arterial plaque, sludge in the blood. It's just moving too slow, the canals are shrinking, and not enough blood isn't carrying enough water and oxygen and nutrients through the body. Thus you have pain. Movement restriction, especially in that ignore denial phase. Movement restriction from pain. You're in pain, so you stop doing certain movements. And then you don't want to exercise or walk or do anything because it hurts. So you do things in a restricted way that allow you to manage your pain. And we don't believe in pain management here at the Healthy Back Institute. We're all about correcting the imbalance and living pain-free as much as possible. So movement restriction is also a further cause of pain, because that stagnation leads to other forms of pain. You might start with low back pain. Your restricted movements then give you pain in the rhomboids between the shoulders or in the trapezius and the neck, and then that tension turns into headaches and migraines, and the pain and then you get fibromyalgia, and then it just goes round and round and round and round. Another one a big one is constipation. Excessive amounts of painkillers, in addition to deficiencies in diet and nutrition, especially in fiber, and excessive amounts of caffeine, lead to constipation. Constipation is a stagnation in the central area of your body where nutrients are also absorbed into your body, and where the waste products and the toxins are expelled from the body. And the constipation is a cause of low back pain, unmoving bowels. In addition to the bowel blockage itself, but the fact that the toxins that are in the unexpelled feces are soaking back and going back into the bloodstream and round, and that's when we get what they call rebound pain. For people who are taking over-the-counter prescription medications and high doses, not enough water and fiber, and too much caffeine adding to the dehydration, gets locked in the intestines, the toxins go back into the bloodstream, and you get further pain, they call rebound pain, which then you need another prescription to deal with that one. Not good. Okay, so what does all this mean in the grand scheme of things? Well, you should always keep in mind the three things: excess and deficiencies lead to stagnation, and the stagnation can lead to an excess, or stagnation can lead to a deficiency. It's just an ongoing cycle. And if you keep this in mind in terms of your diet, your exercise, your pain, your work, your life, everything, then you can keep a more balanced lifestyle, a pain-free lifestyle. And when something goes out of balance, you can determine why it's out of balance and correct that imbalance. I had to study so much in school, I had to stay up all night, I had to drink lots of caffeine, which is an excess, and not get enough sleep, which is a deficiency. I wonder why my neck hurts today and I have a headache. Well, you know the reason, because you can identify the excess or deficiency that led to it and correct it for the next day, rather than jumping right to the painkillers. So you need to manage your ADL, your activities and daily living. All of those activities, sleeping and waking cycle, the posture you use for sleep, what you're eating, who you're talking to, your stress levels, how you sit, how long you sit, are you walking or not, exercising or not, what you're eating, how much you're eating, what time of days are you eating, how you're managing out your stress, how many hours of work you put in versus time for relaxation or exercise or play. Managing your activities of daily living while keeping in mind the three aspects of the yin-yang wellness model of health will lead you to pain-free living, and we wish you much luck. Thank you.